I think we can all agree that Kirby games tend to be crafted with love and special attention to detail. That said, I've never actually given them that much of my own attention.
Dark Trans.
But after watching the first week of Chugga Conroy's Let's Play of Kirby Triple Deluxe, I felt inspired to make this video, so I'm DPadGamer, and here's a video looking at Easter eggs in Kirby Triple Deluxe. Also, there will be spoilers. So, before actually getting into the game, there's already a neat detail that could be easily missed on the title screen. Following the short cutscene, Kirby will stand atop a leaf, wave, and then perform 2 of 5 poses, which are randomly chosen before the cutscene replays. Of those poses, he can stand up on one of his little toes, perform a big stretch, look around, give us a more excited wave, and finally sit, smile, and waggle his little feet briefly. So cute. Now, since this game was the first Kirby game released on a 3DS, the devs made sure to utilize as much of its hardware as possible. This is true in the game, but also in the main menu itself. While selecting a mode to play on the bottom screen, a randomly chosen set of keychains you've collected can be seen hanging on the top screen. These are actually affected by the 3DS's tilt, as are all the keychains located on the items collection page. Another minor detail worth noting is within the story mode's level select. Note the first letter of each level in order. F for Fine Fields, L for Lollipop Land, O, W, E, R, it all together spells flower. And if you take the 7th and final level, Eternal Dreamland, with its letters you get flowered, which is pretty neato. Oh, and on the topic of names, have you ever wondered how HAL Laboratory actually came up with Triple Deluxe? Well, they explain just that in one of many me posts detailing various development insights, fun facts, and so on. The post in question reads, "We started with a variety of ideas. One was a title that would reflect the game's theme of an adventure through floating islands. Another idea was to use the letter X, since this is the 10th traditional Kirby platformer. We also wanted to find a title that would reflect the game's full use of the Nintendo 3DS features, such as the 3D function, motion sensors, and Street Pass. Something short and catchy that we could use all around the world. That's how we came up with the title, 3DX. In other words, Triple Deluxe." Unfortunately, Miiverse was closed down in November of 2017, rest in pepperonis, so you can't pull up the thread on your 3DS, but thankfully, it has been archived, so I'll include a link in the description if you want to read through the hundreds of posts for yourself. That said, another neat detail mentioned in one of those developer me posts was about some of the sounds used in Triple Deluxe's music. Number 22 in the sound test mode of Kirby Triple Deluxe is called Toy Rhythm, and was composed with an old school NES era sound in mind. Actually, for that sound, we weren't just recreating the feel of an NES, we were actually using a real console and sampling the noises we could produce, and then mixing those samples into the track to create the vibe we were going for. You gotta love those old NES sounds. If you're curious, that track can be heard in, among other places, Stage 2-2. Another post involving the jukebox shared by the game's director included this fun detail. In addition, you may notice the musical notes floating in the background while each track plays. Those actually have a little secret to them. The music in the Kirby series is created by 2 different composers. The songs with the red musical notes were composed by someone who's been on board since Kirby's Dream Land, and the blue notes appear for songs created by the second composer who joined the team for Kirby's adventure. That's pretty neato, though it's weird that all those people have the exact same voice. But either way, now that we're this far through, without ever actually looking at gameplay, let's do a bit of that. So amongst Kirby's many copy abilities, Sword is one of his most well known. In this game, it gained 2 new attacks, one of which being the Sky Energy Sword. With this, he can raise the sword overhead to charge it with Sky Energy and send it out with a following slash. Since the sword ability is inspired by Link from the Legend of Zelda series, it makes sense that the Sky Energy Sword attack was inspired by Skyward Sword, which was, disappointingly, released 3 years prior to Triple Deluxe. As for a new ability, Archer, though its Japanese name of Sniper is way cooler, it allows Kirby to shoot arrows, attack with his bow, and even crouch to hide behind cover and stealth around. This cover can take a number of different appearances. Most commonly, you'll see a bush with flowers, a tree, a stone, as well as a star block. There are also 2 other variations that can appear, King Dedede, which is actually his artwork from Kirby's Dream Land, and more rarely, the HAL Laboratory logo. And the circus ability is also new to Triple Deluxe, and it also lets Kirby take the form of not just a clown, but the entire circus. One of his attacks lets him inflate a balloon of varying shapes, which immediately pops, dealing damage. I don't think that bodes well for the quality of the elastic, but that's beside the point. This attack also has a few common forms and a couple rare ones. It can be a flower, a a blue dog, a circus ball, and sometimes Meta Knight. It can also be Magolor from Kirby's Return to Dreamland, and of course the HAL logo, or at least an honest attempt at recreating it out of balloons. Oh, and of course, if we're talking about various forms, there is Stone Kirby. In this game, there's 15 different variations, which will organize based on how many times they appear in various Kirby games. So the repeat offenders are of course the titular stone, a brick block, muscle statue, Kirby, 4 Kirby's Adventure on the Nintendo GameCube, Star Block, Mount Fuji, the HAL logo, and the trio of Rick, Kine, and Ku. A little less common, these 3 have only appeared in a few Kirby games. There's Marks and Magolor, King DDD Meta Knight and Banana Waddle Dee, and Magolor's ship, the Lore Starcutter. And finally, these 3 are unique to Triple Deluxe. You can get Drossia and Dark Nebula, as well as Ultra Sword Kirby, and then the final one I ended up finding, which took over 40 total minutes of repeatedly using the ability, 8-bit Kirby wielding a Star Rod. Anyways, one of the last things I want to highlight in this video isn't hidden at all, but it's still easily missable all the same. Normally, whenever you pause during story mode, you can see the controls, the map, that sort of stuff. During boss battles, on the other hand, you can get a special message that is unique to each boss. While some of them are pretty straightforward, like Flowery Wood's message simply stating the obvious, a number of them actually provide relevant plot details, which means Kirby Triple Deluxe focuses on gameplay and has a deeper story that can be found in many descriptions, making it very much like Dark Souls. For example, Paintra's message describes a painting of a pair of sisters separated at birth coming to life, alluding to the possibility that Paintra and the similarly themed Drossia are related. As for the final boss that has multiple different forms, Queen Sectonia has 6 different messages. Starting from the top, they described Queen Sectonia as an evil queen motivated by beauty and world domination who bewitched Terraria. Sectonia's species survives by leeching power from other lifeforms until they're weak enough to be controlled. During the final confrontation, she combines her form with the Dreamstalk, and her goal was to be the ruler of not just Floralia, but all of Planet Popstar. All in all, she initially comes off as a straightforward villain, but the rest reveals that Sectonia and Terraria were once good friends, until Sectonia became obsessed with vanity and delusions of grandeur, turning her into the power-hungry monarch that we initially see her as. Her friend, Terraria's final words and offerings are no longer able to reach her ears, and as a pitiable husk in the throes of madness, she's fed off of countless hosts to the point that she can no longer remember her true form. The final Soul of Sectonia message ends similar to how the Queen Sectonia one does, but with a different angle. Rather than being a wicked queen who needs to be granted eternal beauty sleep that she desires, instead she must be given eternal beauty sleep, making it feel like an unfortunate reality that Kirby must fulfill. But hey, let's not end on the tragic tale of Sectonia and instead look at a few HAL rooms. As you may know, HAL Laboratory has a history of including a number of secret rooms tucked away, and Triple Deluxe has 3. The first can be found quite early in the game in the 3rd stage of Fine Fields. In the 2nd room of this stage, you need to slash these bushes to reveal a 3D warp star. Take it into the background, run over and touch the edge of the screen, and run all the way back to find another 3D warp star where you initially crossed over. Take that and then run all the way to the left on the foreground and take the warp star that has now appeared, and then run along the background until you found the HAL room itself. This one is pretty standard, with the letters HAL made out of blocks, one sweepy boy tidying up things, and 4 abilities that you can grab and so on. The second HAL 9000 room doesn't appear until stage 1 of Royal Road. Following the slap fight against Gigant's Edge, you'll want to float up the far right area until you see the moon in the background. Float up to it and enter a hidden room in front of the moon, which takes you to the HAL room itself. This one is very unique in that the HAL blocks are actually split up between the foreground and the background, making wonderful use of the 3D feature as expected. And the 3rd and final HAL room is hidden in plain sight in stage 5 of Royal Road. In one of the final sort of puzzle rooms, you have to avoid being shoved into the 4th wall by 3D Securitrons. After successfully completing the last 5x5 Securitron room, don't go through the door. Instead, wait around for about a minute and a half, at which point the blocks will retract. You can then witness them pop out 3 times, spelling out HAL, which rewards you with a door that you can go through. Inside, you get a neat little series of tilt gondolas and cannons that eventually gives you a Maxim Tomato, a 1-up, a keychain, and so on. It's pretty neat. With that, I think we've covered most of it, but I'm pretty sure there's still some stuff I missed. If you have any fun facts, be sure to share those down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Well, welcome to the outro. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and maybe subscribe. Also, if you have a Kirby game that I haven't covered before that you want to see me do, be sure to leave that in the comments. And big thanks to my channel members, with especially big thanks to Christy Cuntris and Pseudonymous for being super fans. That's it for this video. I will see you in the next one. The time limit is